It was the best of times, it was the worst of times. Charles Dickens said it best. However, Dickens himself could not possibly understand the dynamic of being the sole provider for a family of 3 while working multiple jobs and maintaining an A average as a full-time, sleep-deprived mother and student. I'd like to say in 1985, a fighter was born. From birth, I've been persistent and goal-driven. Raised predominantly by my single father who spent long hours on the construction site, it was necessary for me to grow up quick and take on more responsibility. However, it's been only recently that I've realized the full extent of my capabilities. Life has provided me with many challenges that have enabled me to fine-tune the woman that I am. I have pursued my chosen course despite the obstacles, and through my experiences, I have learned to utilize my strengths and skills to provide my 9-year-old son and 4-year-old daughter with the role model that they deserve. Education has always been a priority for me, even more so after becoming a mom. I was blessed with the birth of my son Joey a week after I turned 16, and soon after that, I married his father. Unfortunately, it became clear that it wasn't going to be a healthy relationship early on, but regardless, I was committed and I knew that it was my responsibility to give my son the life that he deserved, and that education was the only path to accomplish that. When I got pregnant, I transferred to an alternative high school that enabled me to accelerate my coursework so I could graduate a year early, and while working towards my high school diploma, I dual enrolled in an associate's degree program and completed my Associates of Science in Business Administration at the age of 18 while raising my son and working full-time. After I graduated, being married, we decided it would be beneficial for our marriage if we moved away from our families and tried to make it on our own. In 2004, we moved to North Carolina from California. In 2005, we gave birth to our second child, a beautiful girl named Chloe. And yes, that's Joey and Chloe, but it's kind of a tradition in my family. My brothers and I are Brandy, Randy, and Andy. And my mom's family is Mary, Sherry, Gary, Larry, Jerry, but let me start over. Mary, Jerry, Gary, Larry, Sherry, and Carrie. So I had to continue that on. But the 4 of us tried to maintain a functional family far from our extended families. Unfortunately, the move didn't change our relationship for very long. Over time, the abuse became more frequent and more aggressive. He always apologized, and I chose to believe that he made a mistake, he was dealing with a lot, it would get better next time, and I believed marriage was forever. Fortunately, I was finally released from the relationship in January of 2008 when he was unexpectedly arrested while I was in the hospital having my gallbladder removed. He was later sentenced to 40 years in prison for unrelated crimes. Looking back, I'm not sure I would have ever gotten out of the relationship. Unfortunately, I was stuck. To me, marriage was forever, and he was dealing with a lot. When it did escalate and I tried to get help and get out, he did everything in his power to keep me. I know he would have never let me go without a fight, and I'm so thankful I was eventually released from that relationship. However, throughout 2 pregnancies and an abusive marriage, I have never stopped moving along my path toward a higher education. I even attended both semesters I was pregnant. Just stupid. The unique nature of my everyday life gives me so many more joys and challenges that other students don't get to experience, which are evidenced through my observations of Murphy's Law in my life. On any given morning, I may find the floor littered with honey bunches of oats, a shoe with no match, a feverish 3-year-old, and the taillights of my 9-year-old early bus. As a first-generation college student overcoming so much, I have had many opportunities to learn, fight, and grow that others have not had. Due to this dedication, I graduated in 2009 with honors and a Bachelor's of Science with a double major in Finance and Banking and Risk Management and Insurance. I immediately entered ASU's MBA program after graduation and completed the requirements for my master's degree with an international business concentration this last summer. I'm now working on a thesis and taking upper-level math classes to gain admission into a PhD program next year. Both the University of South Carolina and the University of Kentucky told me that they feel confident they'll be able to admit me next year after I get these math classes under my belt. I'm fortunate enough to have a GMAT score in the 95th percentile nationally and a 3.9 GPA, and these things, along with my many invaluable experiences from my time here at ASU, placed me in the top 5 applicants for both schools last year. Ultimately, I would like to teach finance at the university level. It's my dream to return and teach here. Although having children at such a young age and enduring an abusive relationship can limit opportunities, this has not been the case at ASU. I've had so many incredible experiences here. During my undergraduate career, I was fortunate enough to travel to London with a group of insurance students. I learned so much about insurance in this 1 week, from all of the case studies, the business visits, the lectures. In addition, it was my first opportunity to travel abroad, and I was the first one in my family to travel abroad as well. It introduced me to so much history and architecture that I had previously just been unable to imagine. To make this trip possible, I received a full scholarship that previously did not exist and I did not even apply for, from supporters of the Walker College of Business, and without that it wouldn't have been possible for me to go. I also have been sponsored to attend several professional insurance conferences and even got to speak at 2 of these events. More experience that's just been so worthwhile to me. As a graduate student, I was able to further my international experience when I traveled to China. Through many cultural visits and business events, I experienced globalization and Chinese culture one-on-one, firsthand, while developing many lasting friendships. I'm still communicating with several of the people I met today. This life-changing trip was sponsored by a special Dean's Club scholarship, so thank you all. This was a required component of the MBA program, and without this generous funding, it would not have been possible for me to attend this. I have become tied to ASU with such a strong bond, not only because of my incredible experiences, but also because of the meaningful personal relationships I've developed with the faculty, the staff, and the community. There have been numerous times when faculty members have found scholarships for me in specific times of need, such as when my daughter had surgery last year. She had to have MRSA removed from her leg, and she was out of school for a month, caused me to be out of school and work for a month, and I happened to run into one of my professors at my son's school, and she called me later that afternoon with a scholarship to help me with my bills that were about to be turned off. And those kinds of things, what has made my success possible. This past April, my grandmother passed away, and when I told my mentor and graduate assistant advisor I would not be able to attend the funeral, he insisted on paying for the flight ticket. Another faculty member gave me her son's old bed when my son Joey's was crumbling into pieces. These things are what have made my success possible and will ultimately enable me to help others in similar ways in the future. In addition, these relationships with faculty members have given me many valuable opportunities. I have been working with 2 faculty members on multiple research projects with the goal of seeking publishing. Having co-authored a published work will help me greatly in the PhD application process as well. This past summer, I was involved in 2 challenging internships, giving me real-world experience in fields of interest to me. One involved analyzing sales data to determine a better model for pricing, and the other was managing a team of MBAs creating a business plan for an entrepreneurial startup company. Last year, I was involved in the process of starting a student club as I participated in the writing of the Constitution and the startup of the new graduate chapter of Net Impact. In this club, we planned the first sustainability symposium held at the Broyhill Inn last year, with panel discussions, hybrid engineer, keynote speaker, and a technology show. This year, I'm currently serving as the Vice President of Finance for that club. In addition, I'm gaining further leadership experience on campus as I've been elected as the MBA Senator for the Graduate Student Association Senate, and I'm also the Secretary for that organization as well. In that organization, I'm also serving as a voting member on the Academic Policies and Procedures Committee, an experience invaluable to my future pursuits as a member of faculty. Earning my PhD is the road to everything professionally important to me. The most important aspect of my future career is that I'm helping others. I believe completing the PhD uses my strengths most appropriately to help others in multiple ways. I am very passionate about learning and often say I'm an addicted student. I'm a professional student addicted to education. William Butler Yeats has said, education is not the filling of a pail, but the lighting of a fire. This fire has definitely been ignited within me. Not only will I get to teach and hopefully inspire future professionals, but to achieve this level of success while overcoming so many obstacles will encourage others to chase their dreams as well. My experiences have made me stronger, but they have also left me broken. Through the financial help, resources, and relationships with so many at ASU, I have been able to experience success and grow whole again. ASU has become my family, and that was the theme in everybody's talks, but for me, it's so true. If ASU had a PhD program, like somebody else said, you'd probably never get me to leave this place. I'm really looking forward to returning and giving back to students as ASU has done for me. In the future, you'll see me here again, but you'll be calling me doctor then. Thank you for allowing me to share my trials and future dreams with you, and for supporting ASU and its students, because I know I would not be where I am or have the dreams and goals that I aspire after without the support and shaping of ASU and its faculty. I now know that I can do anything and overcome anything, and that there's a lot of people out there that want to see me do it. Thank you.